Do you have experience with lead generation? Then you might be familiar with traffic sources like Taboola and Outbrain. But I'm pretty sure when you're in the lead gen game, you're mostly running Facebook ads, TikTok ads, and Google ads. But in this video, we will take a look if native advertising traffic sources like Taboola, Outbrain, Yahoo Gemini are worth it for lead generation. Hi everyone, my name is Marcel Sattler. I'm the founder of Purple Black, a native advertising only agency. So what we're doing on a daily basis is we run profitable performance campaigns for our clients. We are not just doing only lead gen, but a very big part of our daily business is lead generation. And therefore, I think I can tell you a little bit more about the insights of lead generation with traffic sources like Taboola and Outbrain. Before we start, let's talk a little bit about native ads, because maybe you're not familiar with native advertising. So native ads are ads that are not looking like ads. And I know it's very complicated, but it's in general super easy to understand, because normally you find native ads on the bottom of news pages. And there are people still in reading mode. So they're reading a news article on their favorite news platform, finish that article reading, scroll a little bit more down and see some other new articles, and they're thinking, okay, that's something from the platform. But sometimes it is something from the platform, from the news site, but it's also mixed with native ads. And you see it because mostly you see the Taboola logo or Outbrain logo very small, but it's there. And therefore you know that it is sponsored content, and yeah, that's native ads. But not just the way how people are interacting with those kind of ads is different, no, but also the funnel is completely different, especially when you're familiar with a Google Ads funnel or with Facebook funnel. So for example, on Google Ads, you're in lead gen, you're offering some insurance products, you're familiar with that people are Googling just one keyword and they're directly coming to an offer page where they can sign up for more details, for more information. That's very easy because the people already know what they want, and normally they just want to receive different offers to see what's the best offer for them. But on native, it's different, because on native you're not reaching, like on Google, people who are already familiar with the topic. Because if someone is searching on Google, they know exactly, I want to have a life insurance, I want to have a XYZ insurance. So they're already informed, updated about the product or service which they need. And normally they know very, very well what they need, and they are also knowing very, very well about the price situation. So you're in a very competitive market there, because they're not just pinging you for some offers, but they're also pinging, I don't know, 3 or 8 different other companies and want to receive there also the offer, just to see at the end of the day, where can I get the best price? But as mentioned before, on native it's completely different, because with those kind of native ads, we are reaching people, they're completely, in marketing slang, we say cold. And what I mean by that is they're not familiar with those kind of products which you're offering. So of course, everybody is knowing what's in general a life insurance or a health insurance, but there are also other kinds of insurance products where people are not educated as in general insurance products. For example, a dog insurance. But yeah, as mentioned before, the people are completely cold. That means they might be known, okay, there's a health insurance, and yeah, it could make sense like every insurance, but I don't have it. I never dig deep into this topic. And that's exactly those people which we want to reach with native ads, because we reach them with curiosity, with a catchy headline. For example, and I'm pretty sure you already saw those kinds of ads, if you're born between X and Z, you have to check out this insurance. Or the 7 reasons why men over 40 need this health insurance, etc. So those are the normal kind of ads. And you see, we're playing there with curiosity, and we're also playing with targeting. If you're born between X and Z, or man over 40, woman under 30, etc. So there are different parts of it. One part is the targeting, and the other part is also the curiosity. And with those combination, we're reaching people that are completely cold about this topic. So they're dig deep because they're curious about this topic, and what they're coming now, or what they see now, after they click into that, they come to an advertorial. And then advertorial is a landing page, but it's not looking like a regular advertising landing page. No, it's looking for the regular user like a news page. So therefore they're thinking, okay, that's not an advertising content, but that's a completely normal news content. And so they continue reading. And what they read here is, of course, not a real copy from a news page, but they're reading a legit copywriting text. And they go all through the steps which is necessary to convince them or to convert them into a ready-to-buy lead. So people get the knowledge about the product within 600 to 800 words in this advertorial. Therefore, it's super important that the advertorial is on point and has the ability to switch people from a completely set of mind into a hot, ready-to-buy lead who say at the end of the advertorial, I need to take action now because I have a lack of insurance there. I never know that this insurance is a very critical part of my life. I never know that this financial product is super important for me because I'm losing money currently. And yeah, I want to take action now. And that's the power of the advertorial. And we want to reach out exactly that. So we are playing with curiosity, but we also are sharing the information which is necessary for the people that they see, okay, might make sense or doesn't make sense for me. But we also play, of course, with some call to action parts and yeah, with an scarcity, urgency, however you want to name it. And just after the advertorial, people can now come to an offer page where they can sign up as a lead. And after that, they normally will get catched up by phone from a call center agent, etc. But that's the funnel. So you see the funnel is completely different. But let's continue our funnel because normally the funnel isn't finished after you receive the lead because the lead is worthless. You want, at the end of the day, you want converting people and not just leads. And therefore, let's talk about the next step. For example, about the call center situation and how is it? So let's directly compare a lead from Google and a lead from native advertising traffic sources like Taboola and Outbrain. So the lead from Google normally knows exactly what he wants and just want to receive the price because they receive all informations before about the product, about the information, about the importance of this service before. So they just want to get a price and yeah, that's it. And normally a lead which is generated through native advertising, of course, they also want to know the price, but they're not price sensitive because they're very curious about it and they have now a scarcity and urgency. They know exactly that they have to take action now because it's a very, very important topic and they don't care about the price situation. Of course, it must be fit and of course it must be worth it. But I mean by that, if you're not the cheapest player on the market, normally it's not very important for those kind of people because there are other things are more important to them, like how fast it is, etc., or how good the agents also are playing on phone with them because it's a completely different audience there and therefore you have to take action about exactly this kind of audience. So that's just a few information about lead gen in general. But let's jump to the next step. As mentioned before, when we're talking about native ads, we are talking about traffic sources like Taboola and Outbrain. And that's the two biggest major traffic sources for native advertising out there. And you're finding them on almost every website out there, so one of them. So next time, I want to invite you, next time when you're scrolling through a news page, just check out the bottom of the page of an article and I'm pretty sure you will see there either the Taboola or the Outbrain logo. And then you know exactly, okay, that's a page where the Taboola Outbrain feed is implemented. Important to understand is also that when we're talking about platforms like Facebook or Google, we think, okay, that's a huge audience. And yeah, it is absolutely. Facebook with Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, WhatsApp, etc. is a very huge company with a very, very big audience. Or it's not Facebook anymore, but Meta, but I think you get the point. But we always forget one crucial point. That's just one company. And yeah, there are people who try to avoid Meta as a company because they're thinking Mark Zuckerberg is the evil in person. And there are still people who don't want to use Facebook or Instagram. By the way, the newest news about Facebook users showing that the user amount is stepping back Therefore, people are leaving the platform. And that's important to understand because Facebook isn't a growing platform anymore. And when we're talking about Facebook ads, Instagram ads, we're just talking about one company. And yeah, who knows, maybe Facebook or Meta will not be there in the next decade. I know it sounds absolutely crazy, but just switch the time back 15 years ago or 20 years ago. Who ever thought that Nokia will not be there anymore in 2022? And the big advantage of native advertising is that native advertising itself is a general term. So that means that there is no native advertising traffic source. There are multiple native advertising traffic sources. Taboola and Outbrain are the biggest one, the major ones, but there are hundreds, even not thousands of other traffic sources for native advertising traffic. For example, we in our agency Purple Black are working with more than 15 different traffic sources for native advertising. For you, someone who needs leads, it means that you're more secure than with just one platform. Because when you're spending higher amounts, I'm pretty sure, especially on Facebook, your account already was banned in the past. And you know the pain in the ass, because when you need the leads, because the call center is waiting for them, and the account gets banned, and you're just reaching some freaks on the Facebook chat, and they just say, okay, open a ticket, please wait, please wait, please wait. You're running nuts. And to be honest, we're running a lot of campaigns, and some of them are very hard on the border. But never ever get an account from us banned on any native advertising platform. Also, when, for example, Outbrain or Taboola blocks us, we can just switch by that to another traffic source and can put the money into it so that there is no lag in the call center, that they just can continue call the leads, call the prospects on the phone, and they don't even recognize that we made a change in the background. I know, sounds everything great, but unfortunately, native advertising is not worth it for every lead generation niche or for every lead generation product. So let's talk a little bit more about the audience and about for who native advertising makes sense and for who not. So first of all, it's important to understand that the audience on native is completely different. For example, when you compare it with TikTok, because on TikTok the audience is very young, very hipster-like, and it's very fast consuming. So for example, on TikTok you also have a very high ad fatigue because the ads will burn very, very fast. On native it's completely different. You don't have the big issue of ad fatigue, and you also have a completely different audience. So for example, when the audience on TikTok is something between 18 and 25, you have an average age on native advertising traffic sources like Taboola and Outbrain between 30 to 70 years. We also have some lead gen campaigns where we have people who was over 100 years old. So yeah, the spectrum is more an elderly audience, but you can reach people starting from 30, very, very good, up to 65, 70 years easily. And in general, that's a very good audience because those kind of people normally earn enough money to spend it. So that means that those kind of people, those kind of audiences are more eligible to spend money. And that's the reason why in general, if you compare it directly or if we are comparing it, native advertising and some other campaigns from Facebook or Instagram, the people from native ad campaigns are more likely to buy a high-priced product or service than, for example, leads from Instagram. So yeah, that's the audience. But let's make a quick switch about for who does native ads make sense if you want to generate high-quality leads. And as mentioned before, unfortunately, native advertising is not a good fit for everyone out there. And that's due to the fact that native advertising is working completely different. On Facebook, you have targeting options. You not just can target people by their demographics, but you also can target people by their interests. We all know before the iOS 14 update, it works way better, but just in 2022, you can select interests and target those people. Unfortunately, on native, there is no real working, legit targeting option for people. Of course, you can use demographics. Of course, you can target them by device types, by browsers, by operating systems, and all that stuff. But you cannot target them by age. You're not able to target them by interests. And yeah, therefore you have a completely different targeting option. By the way, that's the reason why we put, for example, the target audience into the title, into the headline. People born between Y and Z, keep attention. Woman over 40, check out this. So that's the reason why we're using those headlines, because there is no technical interest-based targeting. And because of that, there are some good fits for native advertising when you have a very broad product approach. When your service is necessary for a lot of people out there. When you're in a very small niche, for example, you need high quality leads for, I don't know, for CEOs only, which are in a Fortune 500 company. That's a way too small niche, maybe also for Facebook, but I think you get the extreme sample here. But on native, it never would be working. So native, you'll need a very general, broad approach, which is necessary for a lot of people out there. So no freaking stuff, no small niches, no niche of niche audience. So in a nutshell, when does native advertising make sense for you when you want to generate high quality leads? It always makes sense for you when you already run campaigns on traffic sources like Facebook, Instagram, Google. But now you want to scale. Now you want to get a cheaper CPA and you want to spend more money and turn the campaign more profitable. Then native advertising makes sense. It doesn't make sense when you just started with your business and just have 1,000 bucks on your pocket. Then please don't try native advertising, because you will lose money and you can't afford to gather enough data until you can optimize the campaigns. So therefore, when you have a legit business, when you already run campaigns, when you want to scale, or when you want to get a lower CPA, then native advertising makes sense. If you just started, unfortunately, native advertising is not a good fit for you. So let's come to a quick conclusion. And normally I could tell you the next 45 minutes more about high quality lead gen with native advertising, but I think that would be too much for this video. By the way, if you're interested in more information about native ads and lead gen, write your question below in the comments, and who knows, maybe I will create a separate video about that in the future. But yeah, let's just recap it very, very fast. So native ads is working completely different than every other traffic source. For example, you cannot compare native ads with social media ads like on Facebook or Instagram. So for example, when you're in Facebook Marketer, you normally also can run technically TikTok ads. By the way, their ads manager are looking almost the same, but also because the audience is very similar, especially on Instagram, and you get the general understanding, you know that user-generated content is important, and so on and so forth. But native ads is working completely different. Not just the audience is completely different, but it's also technically completely different, and you need a completely different funnel behind there. So you need advertorials, you need copywriting, you need technical aspects, because it's technically more difficult run a native ads campaign on Taboola or Outbrain than just run a very simple Facebook campaign. It's also important that you know that native advertising is just worth it when you have a very broad service or product approach, and when your audience is something between 40 years and 65 or 70 years. And keep in mind that you need a legit running business who is already generating leads. Then native advertising could make sense when you want to scale your business or when you want to generate a lower CPA. By the way, if you're thinking native ads is a good fit for you, then I would honestly invite you to check out our website, purple-black.com. What you can do there is you can schedule a call, a free consultation call with our team, and in this consultation call, we will take a look about your product, about your service, and check out if it makes sense for native or not. Please also keep in mind that I have a lot of videos here on YouTube, so I would extremely appreciate it if you give me here a thumbs up for this video and subscribe to my channel and activate the bell to get notified when I upload a new video about native advertising here on YouTube. Have a good one. See you next time.